I don't believe the Eagles are just doing the same old thing that they normally do and most people think they're going to do. I think that kind of changed last year. And the proof is the A.J. Brown trade. Nobody thought that the Eagles would ever trade a first-round pick for a veteran receiver and then give him $20 million. But guess what? Howie Roseman did it.
Dallas still stinks.
You might do it, King Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. So every year we hear the Eagles only do this in the first round. They only draft this kind of player, that kind of player, and nothing will ever change. But last year is proof that Howie Roseman will adjust, he will change, and he will control the narrative. And that's what exactly he did last year, and I think there's a shot that he does it again. But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, most throttled, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, thank you so much for all the support you give to me. Truly, 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 it means a lot. I appreciate you guys so much. Now, before we get into this and my little rant that I'm going to have today, we got to talk about some things that are going on with the Eagles. The Eagles are supposed to be having another visit, another top 30 visit, we should say. B.J. Ojulari, one of the best pass rushers in the upcoming draft class, has visited the Eagles, Pound Eagles. Now, I definitely like this kid. I think this kid's got a tremendous upside. He's very athletic, very fast, and he's definitely got a chance to be good in this league. He's 6'2", 248 pounds. Junior LSU. Can't go wrong with SEC. I see him, from most mock drafts that we've seen of him, he's late first round pick, somewhere around there, late first, maybe early second, something like that. And it would be an interesting pick because if the Eagles were to take him, that means that they're taking him at 30 or they're taking him in the second round, which would mean, who did you get in the first round? I don't think you would have a situation where you would have Jalen Carter at 10 and then Ojulari at 30. I don't think the Eagles would do it because I don't think the Eagles are going that heavy defense as much as people think they are. I think the Eagles are going to address offense early in this draft, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. But if you listen to Jeffrey Lurie and you listen to what he says, and he talks about the bread and butter of this team is the offense, and you look at where the Eagles have basically spent their money in free agency and what they've done on defense, you really look at the offense and they haven't really touched it. They haven't really addressed it at all. They gave some money to Rashad Penny, which, we'll see what he is. Very talented back. Can he stay healthy? They didn't pay him hardly paid him anything. He ain't making much money. And then, of course, Marcus Mariota, a quarterback they brought in. But I don't look at that as like something off the chain because he kind of had to go out and get a backup quarterback. Gardner stinks you left. So to me, that isn't a surprise. Surprise at all. So the Eagles really haven't put anything into their offense. The thing that they say is the most important part of their team, the offense, and what they're an offensive team. They haven't put anything to that yet this year. And I think it's coming early and often in the draft. That's why a guy like Ojulari makes some sense to me in the late first round at 30 or early second, because I could see a situation where you take Bijan Robinson at 10, even though people don't like it, or one of the offensive linemen, which is probably more likely if we're being honest. To me, Paris Johnson Jr. would be the offensive lineman I would want at 10. But that's what it looks like, and it's going to be very interesting, this whole draft, because all I hear, I hear other people. I hear what other people say. I hear the shots and the rim jobs and the slight shots at me here and there by other people because I speak my mind. I tell you what I think. I've got to be honest to you guys about what I think and what's in my heart, and that's what I do. But I hear the stuff, and it makes no sense to me, really, because if you look at last year, and we go back to last year, the Eagles went against the narrative. They went against their own narrative. The Eagles, not very often do you ever remember the Eagles spending a first-round pick on a veteran wide receiver? And we talked about this over and over and over again, and I went through the same exact things that I'm going through now with my opinion this year. Last year, we're not going to trade first-round pick for a veteran wide receiver. We are not paying a wide receiver $20 million. Howie would never do that. He's not going to do that. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? We heard it. But what did he do? He did it. And why did he do it? Because it was what made the team better. It was what was good for the team. It was what had to be done because it made the Eagles better. And I think the same thing applies this year. Howie is not going to do what everybody thinks he's going to do because he has to stay in this little wall of rules, all right? Everybody's got these rules of how he has to draft this and draft that. And yeah, the Eagles tend to draft offensive linemen, defensive linemen. Last few years, it's been been wide receivers. And they don't draft linebackers. They don't draft running backs. They don't draft safeties. They don't draft cornerbacks. That doesn't mean that he's bound by that and by those rules. He's not. Howie is going to do what is best for the team, and he is going to take the best player available. And if they feel it's Christian Gonzalez at 10, then take him. If they feel it's Paris Johnson Jr. at 10, take him. That's what he's going to do. The Eagles went against the grain last year, so there is no reason to think that they wouldn't go against the grain now. There's nothing to think that. And I just remember last year where it was like people were shocked that the Eagles got A.J. Brown. But when you thought about it, it just made so much sense. You had 3 first-round picks. You traded one of them. You had one for next year. And you weren't going to pick a better player on the board than A.J. Brown was there right now. And then they signed him to a $20 million contract. Nobody thought that was going to happen, but he did it. So we got to get out of these narratives and these ideas that the Eagles are bound by this and they're bound by that. They tend to do things a certain way, and that's how they do it. But when opportunity presents itself, you've got to capitalize on it, okay? And Howie is not going to let a talent like Bijan Robinson just go off the board and just ignore him because he's a running back. It doesn't make any sense. If he is the third best player on their board, he's going to take him if he has to. I truly believe that. Not because it's something you do every day. No, it's not every day that you have a team that just was in the Super Bowl picking at 10. But you do. You can't continue to do the same thing every year, year in and year out, and year out, and just discount other options and just not do certain things because it's out of the norm. You've got to be able to adjust. You've got to be able to look at a situation and take advantage of it. You've got to take advantage of it. The A.J. Brown thing, the Eagles took advantage of that situation. And that's how they have to approach this draft at 10. The 10th pick overall was not your pick. It is an extra pick that you didn't have. If there was ever a chance to take a chance and do something a little out of the norm, this is the perfect time because you still have your normal pick coming in the draft. So why not take a chance on a Bijan Robinson or a Christian Gonzalez, or whoever it is? My point is you gotta take the best player available. And it's not just the Eagles don't draft running backs in the first round. They don't draft cornerbacks in the first round. Lito Shepherd. They don't draft safeties in the first round. Some people said Ben Smith was the last safety that was drafted. I thought Ben Smith came out as a corner. He switched to corner when he was with the Eagles, but maybe he was a safety. I don't know. But we're talking about the 80s, right? Well, maybe 1990, I think he got drafted. We're talking about the 90s. All right, no safety, no corner, no linebacker. When's the last time they took a linebacker? No linebackers. the Eagles take usually offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and really that's pretty much what they like to do. The last few years, they started taking wide receivers. If you guys remember, we were having this same exact conversation with the Eagles and about the Eagles before the Eagles took Jalen Reagor. The common thought was the Eagles don't take wide receivers in the first round. The last guy they took was, I believe, it was like Freddie Mitchell, right? Because Macklin, no, I'm sorry, it was Macklin. I stand corrected. They took Jeremy Macklin. That's right. So they did take Macklin, but before that, it was Freddie Mitchell. They didn't take it very often, right? And they had success with Macklin. It's a shame with his injuries, but they really didn't take that many wide receivers in the first round. It was a very odd thing. Then they took Jalen Reagor. Then it was like, well, they took a receiver last year. There's no way the Eagles are going to take another first round wide receiver. They won't take the same position in the first round twice. And they did it. And then it was, well, the Eagles aren't going to waste a first round pick on a wide receiver for third year in a row. And then they did it because it was smart. It was the right thing to do. And if you have a talent out there that doesn't go against the norm of what you normally do, but he'll make your team better, you have to do it. You have to do it. And I truly believe that Bijan Robinson is the third best player in this draft. I think he's the third best player in this draft. I think he would make a huge difference for the Philadelphia Eagles offense. I think it's substantially more than any other running back. This is why I think that the Eagles could possibly pull the trigger. It's not going to be a matter, if the Eagles don't take Bijan Robinson, it's not going to be because he's a running back. It's going to be because how they view him. Because if you remember, the Eagles were going to take Christian McCaffrey at 14. Everybody in the world knew it. He went earlier. They even tried to get up to get him. The Eagles wanted him. He's a running back. So if they believe that Bijan is that good, he's in play. If they don't, then he's not in play. It's that simple. The Eagles are not bound by the rules that everybody wants to put in front of us about what they do and what they don't do normally. Howie will take advantage of every situation possible. That's what good GMs do. Just saying. Just saying. So the point is that the Eagles, we can't discount any person or any player in this draft at any position for the most part. You know, there's a few exceptions. But cornerbacks in play, safeties in play, running backs in play. It's all in play because you've got to do what's best for the team, not just stick to some narrative of what everybody thinks you have to do all the time. Howie hasn't done that last year. Howie may not do that again. Just my opinion. Now, before I go, I want to show you something. I got nothing to say about it. I'm just going to put it out there for a second for you to read. You see what I'm saying? So, if you agree with that, and you think that's right, and you're in on drafting Bijan Robinson, then click the link in the description and go make sure you pre-order your Draft 5 hat. Get it while you can, because these things are going quick. We're going to have to cut down the pre-order deadline probably so we can get these things out in time to all you guys. But Draft 5, that's the movement. We are trying to do whatever we can to get Bijan Robinson to Philly. And if you guys are in agreement with that, if you think the Eagles should do that, then definitely click the link in the description and go pre-order your Draft 5 hat. Come hang out with us. Draft Night Woo will be streaming. We will have it on, and we are going to push to make it happen. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Also, Also, I wanted to say this, I forgot, but I think they said that Joey Porter Jr. is also either came in for a visit or he's coming in for a visit. I absolutely love the kid. I think he's going to be really good at the next level. I like him. I think he's a mid-round, first-round pick. I would definitely consider him with my second first-round pick. Definitely. If he falls to 30 or if you wanted to move up and get him, I would be open to it. I think he's going to be a good player. I almost wonder, though, if he would not be a better safety in this league than a corner. I think he would be an all-world safety, but I like him at corner nonetheless. So I don't know if I mentioned that. I think I forgot in this video. So, yes, definitely. Joey Porter Jr., definitely a guy that I think is going to be able to play at the next level. Denzel Washington out.